What's up? This is Dante.
And I'm Lola, creator of thesmokingprophet.com. Thanks for coming on and speaking with us today. So we were thinking about Columbus Day and
Indigenous People Day.
And I was just thinking about, what's it all about? Okay, so Columbus Day, we celebrate, Americans celebrate Christopher Columbus and the contributions he made to exploring the New World and America and all of that wonderful stuff. And Indigenous Peoples Day actually celebrates and honors the culture, the heritage, and the legacy of America's first people, the Native Americans. As I was thinking about these things and how more people are adopting Indigenous Peoples Day over Christopher Columbus Day, I thought about Columbus and was he a bully?
What?
Yeah, I thought about it. So first, before we get into was Christopher Columbus a bully? He might be one of the oldest bullies in history, by the way. But before we get into that, let me just get on this. So I've always had questions in my head about Columbus Day because I remember reading a story when I was a kid about this guy named Amerigo Vespucci. So Amerigo Vespucci is where America got her name from. America is the Latin form of his first name, Amerigo. So I'm like, why do we have someone's name is not who discovered us, allegedly. So as I was looking and reading, I learned that Amerigo Vespucci was an explorer like Columbus as well. Really cool jobs, right? To go and help merge the old world with the new world. And he went around exploring different places, and on one of his journeys, he ended up going into regions of South America. Rio de Janeiro, for one. So he went there and he started writing about it and started talking about the New World and recording his history. Later on, authors were writing a book and they were looking at South America or what had been seen of that area at the time. And one of the writers decided that they wanted to honor Amerigo Vespucci and gave South America her name.
Exactly.
And named her after Amerigo. Now, later on, map makers were creating a world map, okay? And they were looking at the continent and looking at what had been discovered, North America and South America, and they decided to go ahead and name North America, America. So that's where America got her name, but that doesn't mean that Amerigo discovered America, and that doesn't answer my question, was Columbus a bully, and what do we do all of this for? I'm glad to be off work, but what is it about?
Exactly. And while doing so, I decided to do some research on Columbus. Shout out to Britannica. Now, we have all heard that Columbus, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. However, it looks like Columbus actually never reached North America.
What?
Exactly. Amazing. On his travels, the first place he reached on October 12th was going to be the Bahamas. Not only that, he reached Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and some areas of Central and South America.
That's pretty big, for back then, right? On a boat.
Exactly.
You remember the names?
Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria.
Santa Maria.
I always like those names.
Yep. That's pretty big. But go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're perfectly fine. Now, this goes to the discovery. So, since Columbus has never reached North America, who did?
Right.
So, I guess that has to ask you a question about
Do
that.
we know who did that? So, I learned something. Yay.
There we go.
Y-A-Y. Yay. That's what I learned. No, that's not what I learned. I learned who really is credited as the first European to have stepped foot on our land, and not our land of America, but North America. So that is Leif Erikson.
Okay.
And this is how it happened.
Okay.
Leif Erikson was Norse, and he had recently converted from his pagan religion over to Christianity. And as a new proselyte or a new convert, he was advised, go out, explore, and help give this message of Christianity and of Christ to other nations. So out on one of his voyages, he ended up being rerouted and landed in what we know as present day Canada.
All right.
So he's actually credited as the first European to touch this land of North America. So we discovered that Amerigo wasn't the discoverer. We discovered that Columbus wasn't either. And we discovered that Leif Erikson was actually the first one to set foot on this land, or first European,
Exactly.
outside of the people that were already here. But with that being said, it doesn't answer my question, like, was Columbus a bully? Was he?
That's a great
You
question.
got to tell me about that.
I have to say something about that. So we found out, doing a little bit more research, that when Columbus actually did sail, he managed to do a document. It's called a deal with the Spanish merchant. It's going to be called the Capitulations of Santa Fe. What that allowed him to do is he gained 10% of any property, any jewelry, anything he got. Greed took over while he was traveling through the West Indies.
It's a lucrative business.
It is, and he decided to go into slavery. In doing so, he enslaved multiple people called the Tano.
That's horrible. I was reading about some of the statements that Columbus wrote. First, it said that the people were very, very generous people. They wanted to trade like their stuff with those that they encountered, these Tano people. But also, he had written some statements saying that they were good-looking people. I guess that they look able, like they could do stuff physically, and that they would make great slaves.
Exactly.
So it seems like Columbus might have been a bully. Now, as we were looking a little bit further, the Spanish government found out about this.
Yes, they did.
And they weren't about that life.
Not at all.
They were like, no bullying zone over here. All lives matter. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the human race. That's what they did. And they were like, Columbus, this is not okay. And they actually stripped him of the prestige that he had, because he was like
A governor, viceroy, and an admiral in any place he discovered.
Right. So these places that he touched, like, he had authority over them, and then he was making this money off of them. But they stripped him of that. So it seems like Columbus did do some great things.
Yes, he did.
Amerigo Vespucci did some great things. Leif Erikson did some great things.
Exactly.
You've done some great things, my friend. But Columbus did some not so great things.
Not at all.
And he was a bully.
Yes, he was.
Hope he got it right. Hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't been to thesmokingprophet.com, please go and check it out. So on the blog, I put out blogs and vlogs from myself as well as others, talking about all kinds of things and exploring the subjects of spirituality, creativity, culture, and more in a super easy way. I give you life advice made easy, and who doesn't want that? Also, I'd like for you to go and check out my podcast. If you can't watch me, if you can't read what I'm saying, you can download a podcast, save it for later, and listen to it when your connection's bad, like me at work. Or just listen to it when you need something in your ears. So you can find my podcast, thesmokingprophet.com, on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and TuneIn. You can also search at Lola Cabaya, LOLA Cabaya, and you want to do that because I believe that everyone deserves to live their best life, and everything that I'm giving you supports that. All right, let's do great together, and I hope you have an amazing life.
Bye.
Thank you, Dante.
Very well.
You're amazing.